The art of storytelling. How great TV shows keep us hooked. What are the reasons why American talk shows are so interesting that they leave you watching for hours without blinking? Why are modern series so interesting to us that we're willing to do marathons? What are the tools and techniques that producers use to engage the viewer so that everything is interesting throughout the show? These answers and more you will know below, so do not detach yourself from the screen. On television, audience ratings are incredibly important because by retaining more audiences, it is when brands understand that a program works well, since it will be profitable to advertise a brand on that program. That's why the producers and the entire team find ways to capture people's attention. A very clear example of this can be seen in talk shows such as Jimmy Fallon's, which always at the beginning of the program, the band plays a symphony with a strong, interesting, and very short sound, perhaps not lasting more than 30 seconds. This is the beginning of the program, and from there, you have to capture the attention until the end. The aesthetics of the stage is also an important factor, but the presence of the host is also more important, who has to have a unique personality, funny, intelligent, and very skilled when it comes to improvising on some occasions. Pre-recorded laughs always work when both the host and the guest tell a very bad joke and make the audience believe and convince that it was a good joke. This way, the program will always work fine. It also helps a lot to integrate the celebrities and stars of the moment when they are promoting their next movie, like when they also invite pop artists when they release a new album. The production does this because it is a trend, and the viewer will always be watching because it will interest them if they are part of a mainstream audience. They also do sketches on some occasions, as they usually do on Saturday Night Live, which is generally a program of sketches and comedy numbers which attract the attention of the audience by bringing in the celebrities of the moment, as happened with Jenna Ortega or Billie Eilish, who perform throughout the program and receive large audience numbers, may be the result of the quality of the program. But a large youth audience watches the show thanks to these artists who are relevant at the moment. This is not only limited to this type of program, because the series also use this same resource, but in a more sophisticated way and with a larger budget. The more important objective of a series is to tell a story, and one of the resources they use is to engage the audience for as long as possible. Before, the concept of marathoning a series did not exist, because to watch a series in its entirety, such as Lost, you had to wait for one episode a week. But now, with the model that Netflix works with, the series is released in its entirety on just one date. And in this way, they hook the audience in a way that they had never imagined. There are even cases of people who see the 8 hours that a season lasts in just one day, when in turn, it is difficult for them to see a 3-hour movie, as it happened with The Irishman or other long movies. This, plus adding famous actors of the moment, such as the integration of Pedro Pascal to the cast of The Last of Us, make the series a magnet for audiences of all ages. Blockbusters always turn to people with a lot of renown and prestige, such as directors, producers, and actors who have won at least one Oscar or have a lot of weight in the industry. In this way, perhaps a series with a lousy script or a boring program gets audience, and even if it has bad reviews, at least it has an audience hook, and most importantly, it raises the money that investors and producers wanted in the beginning. Then, the aesthetic part and everything related to the series always tends to hook audiences, even more now after the arrival of streaming platforms on the market. Now there's a lot of dialogue so that the viewer never loses attention. Colors are used to attract attention, and explosions and action here and there. Something is always happening these days, and there are no moments of silence or reflection. This is so because in a movie theater, people usually stay until the end to see a movie, and they rarely get up and leave the theater just because they are bored, because they have also paid a ticket and traveled miles. Now, if we get bored watching a series in the comfort of our home, we simply switch to something else that interests us more, and that is why these companies need to engage audiences twice as much as before. And if you wonder if it works for them, you just need to see the rating numbers achieved by series like Stranger Things or the acclaimed The Last of Us. Successful series that exploit everything I mentioned above to the maximum, implementing it in the narrative and also from production. Undoubtedly, There are many ways to engage the audience from the narrative using many tools, and here we have presented some so that you can know how this is done, without realizing it on some occasions. What part of this video did you find interesting? Have you been interested more? Did you know the tools that television stations use to better engage the audience? Leave me your answer below in the comments. Do you like our content? Do not stop being subscribed to our YouTube channel, and if you're not, I invite you to subscribe and also leave a like to enjoy more content similar to this. See you in the next video.